Hey, Tesla family, Barrakan is back with another video. This time, I'd want to give you all a brief update on Tesla, the theft of spy videos, and a few other interesting stories. The economic calendar is breaking down since Dr. Powell is scheduled to speak shortly. Now, during his speech, this could have an impact on the markets. However, allow me to address a few points before getting into the specifics. First off, don't take anything I say as financial advice because I'm not a financial planner. Remember the Webull link as well. They quickly provide pals. There's a $500 deposit guarantee and 20 bonus stocks. A minimum commitment of $1,000 will ensure that you receive 75 of them. Nevertheless, the price action of Tesla is quite intriguing. Just a friendly reminder that the 42-day and 52-week bill auctions are scheduled to begin at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Thus, there may be some volatility throughout that period. Williams from the Fed will be speaking at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jerome Powell will also be speaking at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Furthermore, what he says can be crucial. The whole market usually moves when Jerome Powell speaks. Prepare accordingly for his speech. Anything he says might lead to some fascinating fluctuations. Make sure you're prepared for this then. We'll see what Jerome Powell has to say, and it might have a big influence. Regarding Tesla, the press is discussing the company's shortcomings. We will, however, be watching to see what transpires with their upcoming robo-taxi announcements and profits, which are expected to be released very soon, as long as this downturn persists. Thus, this is a topic that many analysts are discussing. It's said that Tesla faces some difficult times in the future. However, a number of prominent bulls remain, including Nvda, and there are also JP Morgan analysts who are extremely optimistic about the long run. In the short term, they are discussing supply-driven problems, potential layoffs, demand and supply problems, and the possibility that the robocab will be very profitable for them. However, these analysts claim that they are continuing to lower their estimates in the near term. That's what's going on with Nvda and a lot of other people. Apart from the fact that Elon Musk's announcement of job layoffs yesterday still has an impact on Tesla, there are other reasons why the company is performing poorly. These are the levels you are at. Basically, the resistance is 157.5. We could push up to roughly 158.5 and then 160, a pretty tight mark if we manage to break over this. For Tesla, we have support at 155. If we lose that, we may drop to roughly 153.8. That will essentially be the previous low to be on the lookout for. After that, we have 152, and if we lose 152, it won't be difficult for us to close the difference to 146. Thus, it appears that Tesla is generally on a downward trend. To be honest with you, the chart is often more bearish. However, what Jerome Powell says may also determine whether or not we can maintain our negative outlook. I'll simply be waiting for his speech to start at 1:15 p.m. In the event that he pushes Tesla higher and we overcome this barrier, I'll be watching for a move to at least 160, which is close to our 200 EM net. Tesla might start dropping all the way back to 152 if he pulls the rug. Otherwise, we're only limited by range until that point. If you look at Tesla, it has been trading sideways and staying relatively stable for the time being. So, it might just stay in this vicinity. I apologize. I might simply stay in this range for now, and Jerome Powell will eventually have an impact on it. In the same way, SPI has an intriguing range. Both at the 506 flat and in this 505 zone, resistance exists. Support is also available at 503 flat. I would be watching trend if we lose that. We've been regularly making lower high highs and lower lows inside the 5-minute time frame, and there's a chance that TFPI will go even more below. However, let me clarify that we are not actually taking any significant steps. It seems like we are choppy in this range. It looks like we're going to be a little choppy until Jerome Powell speaks. We'll have to wait and see what Jerome Powell has to say, since he may touch on monetary policy, potential economic uncertainty, and the state of the economy. So when he speaks at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, keep an eye out for all of that. Moreover, the QQQ is acting in a range-bound manner. Have you looked at the QQQ's range? There is resistance at 432 and support at 429 and 430. We've been kind of locked in this range for a while now because it's been going range-bound. We'll just have to wait and see what transpires. but not really much. This is all on steam on the chart so far. So, after Jerome Powell speaks, we'll see what happens. There will be market movement. If he is dovish and triggers a market pump, 432 is likely to reach 432.6 or even higher. We could drop all the way to roughly 428 if he pulls a rug. I will thus simply wait to hear Jerome Powell's thoughts. Aapl experienced a brief spike before seeing a significant decline to 169. Resistance is located at 170 and the 20 EMA at 170.8. At 169, we presently have support. Watch 168 and then lower levels if we lose this. Overall, Aapl is on a tiny downward trend, but I just want to point you that this could change based on what Jerome Powell says. Similarly, we will be looking for a push to 877 if Nvda breaks 873. I had indicated that level here. In the event that support is lost, the 200 EMA and 50 EMA are located at 867. Look for 862, then lower levels if we lose that. We get much more bearish if we drop 862. We may easily come to appreciate the 850s, the 855 for example. However, we're kind of range-bound overall. We'll give Nvda some time and see where things end up from there. To be quite clear, we are currently range-bound. Thus, it will be extremely intriguing to be locked in this range. We'll simply have to wait and see what Jerome Powell has to say in the meantime. Thus, the market is essentially only doing that. It is essentially a waiting game for Powell to get into his speech. He will be having extensive discussions with a number of influential governors from the Canadian banks. That will therefore be significant. Just let me go over a couple more. Amzn is making a slight upward push, demonstrating some strength and seeing a rebound. However, we've been range constrained ever since we encountered this resistance at 164. I do believe that a bullish wedge is starting to form, therefore it may move higher and perhaps even reach 165. Though generally it's not very strong, I could see that. I'm not sure if I would claim that trading much is worthwhile for me personally. All I want to do is sit here and wait for Jerome Powell. At 185, Amzn is currently facing some nice resistance. It might raise itself a bit. Since we have this imbalance up here, I might see it push a little higher. Could move closer to 185.5 in the future if Powell provides us with a push and a break. We are easily going to drop to 182 or lower if you get a rug pull. Thus, all we're looking for is range-bound price activity, which is essentially what Powell and Nvda are doing. Powell's encouragement will make it easy for us to push for 507. 497 is on the way or less if it provides us with the rug pull. Give it some time then. As of late, our 10-year Treasury yield has resumed its extremely strong upward trajectory. Yields gapped up and began a very, very modest upswing, at least for today, as they continue to rise. However, the structure is still bullish overall. As a result, the markets are receiving a pessimistic signal from this. Not to add, the strong dollar lends a slightly more pessimistic outlook. At least inside the day, the dollar is somewhat rising. That suggests a minor bearishness for the markets. Similarly, the VIX shows a slight increase. It's not very strong, more like it's stationary. But if it does push higher, it might be because the market is about to decline. The VIX is still trending upward. You guys can tell that it has been rising for a while when you zoom out this much. Okay, folks, let's just bide our time until Jerome Powell arrives. Let's see what the guy has to say. And in the interim, the market, especially for Tesla, may just stay range-bound. Let's see what the big guy has to say about that. For the time being, we'll just be very patient. I want to say again how much I appreciate your listening. Guys, have a fantastic day. It will be my pleasure to see you all in a few hours. Maybe I won't post another video until after he does his speech. In this manner, all I would have to do is listen to him for a while before updating you folks on it. However, until then, the market can continue to be highly range-bound and temporarily less enjoyable. This is rather common. During times like this, a lot of chop does tend to occur. We'll see what Jerome Powell says next, so let's just wait and watch. We'll also be quite patient. I appreciate you all listening, people. In a few hours, I'll see you all very soon, and goodbye.